why does it seem like when it comes to people who are wealthy versus people who are poor, it just seems like the wealthy just continuously become wealthy. They continuously, it's like they can't do no wrong. They can't fail at anything. And it seems like just the poor rather, just stay stuck, just stay poor. I'm going to show you in this video 7 things that rich people do versus the poor people. And that's basically going on for anybody who's looking to become wealthy, who's looking to give back to society. Why is there such a gap? I'm going to show you how we do it. Check this out. Number 1, poor people simply entertain themselves. I mean, there's nothing wrong with entertainment, but we entertain. I used to be just like this, and I used to feel that I deserve it because I work so hard, and I'm grinding from 8 to 16 hours a day, and I feel like I just need a break. I need, a spa day. I need a movie day. I need to sit in a movie and just relax and eat my popcorn and my soda and my candy, But what the rich people do is simply invest in books. They invest in self-mastery. They do things to actually make their mind better. Because guess what? When I was actually in these movie theaters, when I was actually just hanging out with friends, we were just laughing and joking. And guess what? The main thing we normally would talk about, not everything, but one of the main things we normally talk about was work. Laughing at people who we thought was funny at work, or what was wrong with the job and how we feel that it should be better and who should do what. And it's like we're hanging around not really doing anything in the sense of improving this, but even when we're talking and we're just vibing and then we're out drinking, we're still talking about where we got off at, because that type of mindset was still in us even when we wasn't at work. So number 1, poor people entertain themselves. Rich people invest in themselves. Number 2, poor people trade their time for money, while rich people trade their value for money. Here's the difference. When you find out exactly what you're good at or what you can be good at, because sometimes, you get stuck in this whole mindset like, hey, I'm not good at, I don't really know, what my purpose is in life. Everybody's talking about their passion, but I don't know. So what do? Check this out. If you're willing to be skilled in something, to do whatever it takes to basically go ahead and find out what the market finds valuable, you will get paid. So instead of you is actually, getting paid per hour just to sit there or to stand there or whatever it is you do that normal employees do, we sit there, they give us something to do to actually build their empire, their task. Think about it. If you're a secretary, you're building somebody else's empire. The boss really is not taking the phone calls. They're not filing, paperwork. They're not doing none of that. You are. So they're paying you for the time that they need you to be in that office. But what a rich person does is they find out what a problem that they can solve, a problem that they can deal with on a daily basis. And once they actually become skilled at it, they actually now start building their empire, where they start delegating people to put in position to actually help run their vision. So what poor people do is we exchange time for money, just coming in 9 to 5 or 10 to 6 or 8 to 4, 7 to 3, or even longer. And what rich people do is they see what the problem is in the marketplace. They get skilled at it, they fix it, and they now can actually get paid based on the value they give, and they keep their time. That's number 2. Poor people blame other people for their situations, their problems. Rich people take full responsibility for everything, even when it's something that is just unforeseen. They take responsibility. That's just the mindset that they have, the discipline they have, that whatever they need to do, they're responsible for doing it. Here's an example. I have an uncle who has so many issues, health-wise, money-wise, but yet he seems to have opinions and problems with people who have nothing to do with his personal situation. Everything that he's basically gone through or been through or is at right now is somebody else's fault. Like, his marriage, it didn't work out. Guess what? She was crazy. You know what I mean? The money that he doesn't have. Oh, because other people who used to give me money, they passed away. So that's the reason I'm in the predicament. I'm like, no, you have to understand the root of the issue. It's your spending habits. You wouldn't have to borrow if you have it already. Because it's like your spending habits should be critiqued and should be disciplined. Instead of playing lotto and the numbers and going to the casinos and actually putting your money in stuff that you need, setting it aside and investing it and making your money work, you now blame the people who passed away. Like, people don't normally pass away. Like, I just thought it was just insane, and it's a disconnect mentally from what the poor and the rich do. What rich people do is say, hey, it was my fault. I should have seen it. I should have been more patient. I should have been more disciplined in myself to actually go on and hire this person or even marry that person. Let's just be honest, guys. Some of us are in relationships that we know we shouldn't be in, but because the sex was good, or because, you know, they had money, or because they you know, we felt lonely. We wasn't willing to sit back and just say, let me get me together. Because when I get me together, even though, yeah, the sex might be good, or maybe even though you might be fine and cute or whatever it is, but I need somebody that's for me. I need somebody who's going to, you know, it could be a commitment. It could be like, you know, I just don't need a sex partner, you know, at least not for me. I can only speak for myself. I need somebody who's actually like, you know, you have to get me here before you can get me anywhere else. So, and I need to be somebody who is disciplined in my own right before I can actually go ahead and try to take somebody and bring them in, because they can also ruin my life as well. So that's number 3. Poor people blame others, while rich people blame themselves. Number 4, poor people, they focus on saving. There's nothing wrong with saving money. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But poor people focus on a rainy day so much. But what rich people do, they focus on investing. And investing actually will get them to make their money and make make them more valuable to the market. Here's what I mean. Rainy days are always going to come. But what it is that you're doing is you're setting aside money for a rainy day. But what if there's 1,000 rainy days? What if there's another financial bubble, which there will be. Not trying to be a negative Nancy, but just for the simple fact that that's just how the world is. You know, you get people, politicians, or just us in general as a whole, in a sense of humanity, that only a few percentages of us do right when it comes to money and circulate it. So yes, we're headed for another financial crisis. I'm sorry to say, but what if there's 1,000 rainy days? Do you have enough money to actually save for 1,000 rainy days? So let's say most poor people have about maybe 30 days worth of savings. What if there's more days? What if that rainy day outlasts your savings? You're still back to square one. But what you could have done is you could have put that money, or some of that money, to good use and actually learn something that will never go out of business. Like, say, real estate. Let's say just people's problems that you're solving. People really don't buy based on intelligence, in a sense, not in a sense that like they're silly, but in a sense of people buy what they want. You ever heard the saying, people buy what they want but beg for what they need? So you'll always be in demand. You just have to be willing to set some money aside. I do believe in that, saving for a little something, but you also should have your money be in progress, in working progress, meaning that you should always be a person who invests. And what rich people do, they invest their money. You know, I know there's tons of rich people in society, whether they're alive today or not, that have been in a struggle, that have been in a financial crisis. It was always that last investment that actually took them to the next level. You got Walt Disney, you got Henry Ford, you got so many people that actually were been on the poor side, but they had a rich mentality. They kept investing and they kept doing it until it worked. Because that's really all wealth is. That's really all wealth is. So number 4, poor people save for rainy days. Rich people invest for a lifetime. Number 5, and this one is a big one because I know a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure you know a lot of people who are just like this. Poor people just simply know it all. You can't tell them nothing. You really can't. You know, they did it, they tried it, and some of them really didn't do it and try. They tried in their mind because they felt that they had this conversation before. And what rich people do is they always become a student. If they hear something, their ears are tingling. They want to know, how do I do this? How do I study this? How do I obtain X, Y, and Z? And that's where I used to be at, and now I'm actually in an opening position where I'm open. It doesn't really matter who's speaking to me because I know wisdom and knowledge can come from anywhere. You know, a kid can tell you something, you feel like, yo, that kid is really smart. I didn't know that. And if I wasn't a know-it-all, I would have just this little kid, he's only been here, you know, half my lifetime, you know, let him get out of here. But he could be telling you something very vital to your life because you just never know what information comes. And what poor people do, they simply like to just know it all. It's like they feel empowered, you know what I mean, to know certain things. Like, you know, it's just like more like a attention type of thing. You know, I have somebody that knows it all but doesn't have anything for himself. I mean, you really can't tell him nothing, because like, you ever had those people in your life where they kind of run the conversation, like you'll start it, but you won't end it, or it won't end together collectively, because this person just simply just took it over, and they keep talking, and you're like, okay, listen, I'll catch you later, and you kind of like just go the other way. But really what it is they're just know-it-alls. And the problem with know-it-alls is that you don't know it all. Even I believe it was the Buddha that simply said, even though I have all this wealth of knowledge, I simply don't know. And that's what wisdom is. You always want to be a student and be open, because you never know what it is that you might need to hear or would need to read about actually make you a student, could take you to the next level. And so that's what another factor versus and mentality of how poor people think versus rich people. And you have so many people that just have this infectious disease of they know it all but don't have anything. They don't have anything they don't even have money. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, how can you know it all if you don't even know where to get the stuff that you need? But they just take over, and it's an ego thing. So that's something you really want to be conscious of. You really want to be a student at all times. It doesn't matter what age you are, guys. We don't even have enough life in us to actually see what this world and what everything in this world has to offer. And that's just the truth. So poor people know it all. Rich people are students. Number 6. Poor people simply believe in myths and stuff that they hear instead of experience things. Like, for instance, money is the root of all evil, and poor people and rich people simply believe that poverty is. Poverty mindset. You know, exactly that's what one of the roots of a lot of our crimes, if not all our crimes, are today. And in the Bible, it tells you that money is not the root of all evil. So some of the people who are watching it who are Christians, who might want to kind of be like, no, that's what it says. Because I know people who are Christians as well that believe that money is, but yet they beg for it and they need it and they complain about it all the time. It's not the root of all evil. If you read the scripture correctly, it says the love of money is the root of all evil. So greed is the root of all evil. And that's what that scripture means. Like, you know, money is just an avenue. It can go either way. If I was an evil person, guess what? I'm going to do evil things with my money. If you're a good person, you will do good with your money. You know, some people don't care to open up nonprofits, even if there's money in it, because their purpose is simply just to not help. Or there's people who are willing to open nonprofits because they're simply greedy at the same time. So sometimes money has no back. It's just back and forth. Whoever is in the hands of it is what it is. So that scripture simply reads, money, the love of money is the root of all evil. But poor people believe that they're not supposed to be, you know, wealthy, because wealthy is evil. And it's really a mindset that they have that kind of damages them, because they are simply in a state where, if money was so evil, why are we trying to get it? Why are we trying to work a job? Because we need it. And it's not evil. It's just it's basically in the hands of whoever is holding it and whoever is doing something with it in the sense of purpose. That's number 6. And my final one, because guess what? I have family members who done it. My final one is poor people believe in luck and lottery schemes and, you know, get rich quick things. And the rich people believe in action. Whatever they need to do, whatever it takes, that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? So whether it's a passion thing and they have a passion for art or for music, they're doing whatever it takes. You know, I have an uncle, like I said before in one of the previous numbers of poor people versus rich people. He has a lotto habit. He has a casino habit, but yet his car got repossessed. You know, he's on the verge of divorce. And I don't believe he actually got a divorce simply for the simple fact that it costs money. But he invests in things that is detrimental to him. If I can actually sit back and, you know, from maybe even before I was born, if it was to sit back and just sum up all the money he spent on big reds, you know, the little big red paper, or the blue paper that they use to actually calculate what numbers they're going to play for the day. I'm pretty sure some of you guys know what I'm talking about. He has a mentality that says, you know, if the God of luck can just give me a number, I will hit, and not realizing that all he's doing is getting the money back that he already invested, and he's just breaking even, if not still at a loss, because you got to think about it. This is years and years and years, and when he does hit, it's not for a substantial amount of money that he can actually pay off his bills and stuff like that, or he just simply goes to the casino. So his car got repossessed. You would think that he was actually on the verge of trying to get his car back, but no, he's going to bum a ride with another aunt of mine or one of his other brothers or sisters just to get to the casino because he wants to. He feels that if he just put this number in, or he play that blackjack the way it should be played, or that roulette table, it's going to come back to him. And it's a detrimental mindset. It's action. And I guess in his mind, he's doing things that's actionable to actually help him with wealth. And that's simply not true. Wealth is something that has to go get. Yeah, you have to go get it in an actionable way. You have to be a person that's a student. You have to be a person that's actually willing to learn something new, to make yourself available to solve a problem. That's all wealth is. So the rich people simply do what it takes to go get this money. And at the same time, they're not focusing on the money because they know that the money is going to be the easy route. It's what can I do to solve the problem? And that's what you have to keep in mind. What can I solve that's going to pay me? Because guess what? If I solve your problem, I'm so valuable to you. And if I say, listen, I charge $5,000, you're going to be either scraping for money or just hand it to me. Like any day you need it. Because you just solved all my problems for this month. And I'm willing to pay you. If I say $1,500 a month, $500 a month, whatever it is, you're going to be scratching and clawing at the door because you know that I'm so valuable to your life. That money, for me, which is what I needed, is simply easy, but I had to focus more on what problem can I solve for you. And if it's a passion of mine, even better. But if it's something I'm willing to work, to learn, to actually get, that's cool too. Because guess what? If I can solve other people's problems, I don't have to worry about money. And that's just the simplicity of it. The question is, are you willing? And that's my 7 things, guys. I know this video is kind of long, but I just want to share with you what poor people think versus rich people. And even if you don't have the riches and the wealth that you want, if you stay in that mentality, it's just going to come. And if you like this video, and if it spoke to you, if you know anybody needs to hear it, like, share, comment. I do these things for one reason and one reason only. Because you're worth it. I'll see you guys in the next video.